everybody. I am Winget. I'm also one of the new teaching professors here at SILS. I got my doctorate here, so I'm not completely new. I went away for about 5 years and taught at UT. And my specialty there was video game preservation, collecting new media, and I taught also in organization of information. Right now, I'm teaching 500, which is human information interaction, and 201, foundations for undergraduates. Next semester, I'll do those two plus capstone. And then the following year, I'll have all those three plus organization of information 520. Because Melanie will be in Copenhagen on her sabbatical. I have a background in art and art history. I have worked as a researcher, a cataloger, a librarian, researcher in libraries, archives, and museums. And for the last 5 years, I've been doing consulting in Austin with startups, doing taxonomy development, sort of helping them leverage user data to be a real company. One of my jobs there was as the director of research for an audience analytics firm, for example, is something that I did in Austin. I did that until they became a sports marketing company, and I didn't really have anything to do anymore. So one of my overarching interests for research has been description and representation of non-text materials. That for me typically means things like art, new media art, dance, theater, music, but it can also mean data, so that's something that we could talk about. I've also been very interested in community building, so when I was doing the video game preservation, I found that really the only video games that existed from the 80s and 90s were games that had communities around them, people who were willing to sit down and spend the time to emulate the games themselves, keep the game alive, create walkthroughs for these old games so people continue to play them. And that is something that I'm interested in continuing here. So Maggie Malo, who is away, so she didn't get a chance to talk to you, she and I have been talking about working together on some maker projects. Because I believe that one of the ways that communities can come together and be powerful is not just through social media, things like Me Too, and I'm going to get upset if I start talking about Me Too. So all they do is make people angry. What I want is to have people be able to do things, and one of the ways that I think that might be is through making things together, like physical things, having quilting bees, or in the case of activism, writing postcards together, or having poster making sessions for marches. What is the effect of those kinds of making activities on the community, and how does that strengthen or do nothing to the community? My guess is that it does something to the community. I just don't know exactly what it is yet. So that's an interest that I am going to pursue even as a teaching professor. I have two things that I wanted to talk about in addition, asks for you guys. So you might have seen on the Twitter feed that a lot of us went to an escape room last weekend. We escaped, I just want to let you know. We had a ringer. Casey and her husband have gone to 7 of these things, so that was very good. But we did that because I'm thinking of, well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to make designing an escape room as a group assignment in the capstone course. And if you think about it, it has everything, right? It has systems design, it has user interface design, it has production of stuff, it has quality control, it has representation, how you describe people, how do people move through the system. All it doesn't have is the computer. So if you have any ideas about that, come to me. I think it'll be a really fun project. And that again is stolen from Maggie, who did it at her other school in New Mexico. But I think the capstone students will like it. And then I'm also thinking of starting a podcast. I've been listening to a podcast called Cultures of Energy from the Energy Humanities Project at Rice University. And they interview people who have written books about energy humanities, which seems to me to be a pretty, I don't even quite understand what it is, although I listen to the podcast all the time. And I think that we could do that here. I haven't talked to Gary, this is the first time Gary's heard about it, but I would like to do that. I think it's a good experience for the students.